Hey, Grace Church, Michael Campbell here, family pastor. Hey, I just want to go over this Sunday's lesson that the children are going through and how we can properly prepare our hearts going into this lesson. We'll be going through one of the most famous stories in the Bible, but God choosing David to be king in 1 Samuel chapter 16. And it's one of my favorite stories because God truly sees the heart and the inside more than the outside. And so one of God's good gifts to us is that the way that he uses the most unexpected people in the most unexpected ways. And so we've all probably seen this happen at times, like a young man or woman that rises to prominence in his or her vocation, but nobody saw it coming. Think of, we see it in sports and business, other arenas, but in the kingdom of God, it's not just something you might see occasionally. It's actually the standard across the board. God constantly uses those who are weak to shame the strong. Isaiah 55, chapter 9 says, "For as heaven is higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts." God has been in the business of bringing about surprising stories of unsung heroes since the beginning. And so in 1 Samuel chapter 16, we find one more example of this where God chose to use David, a young boy with a shepherd's staff and some musical ability to lead Israel in a time of legitimate desperation against the enemy. So as we're leading our kids, do we ever find ourselves trying to hone the skills that God has used in others in hopes that he might use us in the same way? Like, have we ever wished that we were wired or gifted differently so that you could do something specific for the Lord? Rest assured that God is not interested in only a specific set of gifts or a specific particular personality type. God desires to use us just the way that he made us. And so find comfort in knowing that he didn't mess up when he made you. He didn't waste a gift about you. Like, he wants you to grow in those ways. And so that at the right time and in just the right way, your specific gift can be used for God's kingdom and purposes. And so who would have thought that David's ability to play the lyre would actually get him into Saul's inner circle, right? Like God did. It was his plan all along. It was his plan to use you specifically in great ways as well. And he won't waste the gifts that he's given you. So be open, be willing to serve him for his glory and our joy. So God has wired us all differently to serve the church. And so this particular story is a way to say, hey, on the outside, it might not appear that this is God's, best option, but rest assured again, God's plan is greater than our plan and his ways are greater than our ways. And he has gifted us each individually to be able to expand God's kingdom and to be used in great ways for his glory. So that's what we're going over this Sunday. Check out the rest of the thread for some memory verses and some discussion questions that we can have as a family. But until next week, God bless and take care.